Shalom, all praise to Yahweh Hashem and Shai Hashem HaKadosh. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great most in row one. Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of sharing truth. Got his article on Zero Heads says, what is King Dollar about to collapse? And if you've know about these prophecies, what's been going down in recent times. This place is honest. It's long been on its way out, man. And that monetary system, that thing collapsing is a core part of it. Why? Because then that's how you get in that mark, man. That implantable chip, that implantable device, which is it's out already, but it becoming mandatory. It's gonna be linked up with that financial collapse, because you got like over here in the UK, you've had the Brexit deal go through, and you're gonna have the ramifications of that being felt over time. Ramifications of that being felt over time, and then as well, you're gonna have with the dollar, man. It's, if you consider, like, last year, I think they went up from debt by like 4 trillion. It hit 20 trillion, or was it 21 trillion? I think it went up by like 4 trillion. So it's like it's basically being maintained. It's really just like the Fed, the Federal Reserve, which is run by the international bankers. That's just pumping it and keeping it alive. But that thing is gonna collapse, and when it's collapsed, it's then gonna fall onto the what do you call it? The mark, man. The mark's gonna be that saving grace. And it's, people are being prepped. People are being their minds are being overloaded with all the destructive capabilities of, like, thinking about this C-19 situation. But then what is when they're basically being trained to look to the government for them solutions. So what? It's going to be a thing where they're going to be, hey, when that crisis comes, whether it's through terrorist attack, because that's you've had that amping up, that domestic terrorism again coming up, even during, like, what, how it's kind of slowed down during 2020, but it picked back up again towards the end of the year. So there's that angle. There's a few angles they can kind of use. But when that crisis comes, everyone's going to be looking to the government, man. Looking to these elites. These elites going to get their wish in, man, which is getting everyone chipped. So, says the US dollar got hit hard in 2020, declining nearly 7% year over year, as much as 12% from peak to trough during a year. The weakness in King Dollar has been a tailwind for commodities and stocks alike, seen by recent articles on silver outperformance, as well as the Dow Industrial Rally reaching key fib level, whatever the fuck that means. But just as we turn the page to a brand new year, look ahead to 2021, the US dollar is nearing another inflection point. Sink or swim time for the King Dollar. Turning to today's monthly chart on the US dollar index, where you can see the King Dollar has spent much of the past decade in a rising channel marked by each one. Yeah. Just talking about that chart. Each one. However, recent weakness has taken the dollar back down to an important confluence of support, marked by its 2018 lows and 2009 and 2010 highs at 2, coupled with a lower channel trend at 3. Note as well that when traders are too bullish, the US dollar, it tops such as 2009 and 2010 with 78% and 74%, and when they had two bearish at bottoms like 2018 at 26%. The current reading is 23% bulls. Humbly speaking, it looks like US dollar is nearing a heck of an important price point at 3. Stay tuned. Yeah. So this is the thing as well. Is like if the system was to run without without the artificial sustenance, the dollar would have been done, man. These men have been propping this thing up for a little while, and that's the reason why it's like, even like when the lockdown started in like March, I think there was like maybe 2 days, 3 days. I remember the start of that week. It was like the first few days of that week, the dollar dipped, and then I say the dollar, the markets in general dipped because I was more watching the UK, and then afterwards it just fucking skyrocketed and it was hitting all-time highs again. Like after a few weeks, you have to think no one's fucking working. All these companies are shut down, are working from home. How in the fuck is this shit hitting all-time highs? But it's why it's because it was being artificially sustained, man. And that's really how it is. It's the thing is because it's artificially sustained. The thing can just drop at any time, man. It can drop easy, and that's what you're gonna be seeing, man. You're gonna be seeing it just be it's when when the elites desire it. So these things, these situations can be manufactured. How and that's what you had previously, man. You had like with 2008 financial crash. That thing was, and the thing is that's why it's like a film like The Big Short. They showed there was hella people that knew the thing was coming. They saw like, yo, this thing is a fucking ticking time bomb. And that's kind of how bubbles are. But it's like people, that's why it's like this whole money system is like a casino, man. This shit is just, it's artificial, it's played with, and it's very much like propped up by like kind of, it's like gambling. And it's people are just betting on staying in long enough for the thing to work out, man. So read this, James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall witness against you. And this is even like with the gold and silver, it's like that's really owned by the elites, man. When you deal with people that are just on any kind of like the lower level peons, these guys are they'll be getting into, they might have a house they've got a mortgage on. They'll have they might have some stocks, they might have like some savings. These things are all in that fiat currency. These guys aren't really, when you deal with actual wealth, what is it? It's that land, it's that cattle, it's precious metals, man. And most people ain't really fucking with it. People have been fucking with gold a bit more, but then even they're fucking with like Bitcoin, possibly more, man. But gold's gone up as well because of the course of the year. But it's like people will fuck with it, but it's like for them it's only for a period of time. They ain't really looking at it. Very few people are. There's people that know what's going on. They'll have stacks of gold, but then it's like by and large the general public, they're just thinking about the using this monetary system to their gain, man. They'll be thinking that's why people that have been playing the stock market this year, they're fucking loving life, because even though life has been completely garbage, and nothing's been happening, everyone's been locked down, everything's been lock off, they've still been able to make money. That shows how much of a fucking game it is. How is it? Companies are closing. You got like shit like fucking all entertainment districts just being shut down. The what's it called, hospitality industry and shit. Bare shops being shut down. Bare high street chains dying off. But then people are killing. Money's killing it. It's because they ain't really. It's not that real currency. It's that artificial shit, man. So it's just gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire, You've heaped treasure together for the last days. And that's them elites, man. Them elites that have they're the ones that are holding onto all those treasures that they've taken, man. These are the guys that keep all the actual things of material value. And it's what? And when it comes to, you go to Isaiah 60, man, it's all them goods, we're gonna spoil them. Just like in when you go to Exodus, man, we spoiled the Egyptians. It's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna spoil these elites, man. All these goods that they got, it's gonna get nabbed, and them man are gonna get put into. They're gonna be spoils, man. The elites are gonna be spoils. They're gonna be put into captivity. It says, "Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. You have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. You have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. You've condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you." Yeah, basically, you've experienced your heart's desire, man. It says, "Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh." Yeah, so that's what we're waiting on. We're all these things. That's why we see the monetary system crashing. As that's beautiful. That's something we desire fervently, because it means the coming of our Lord is that much swifter. People in the world, man, they see that and they're thinking, because for them, this place, this whole existence, is the end. This is it, man. It doesn't get much better than this. So they're just like, oh no, if this doesn't work out, they're done, man. They're fucked. They don't know how to They don't know what they're gonna do, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, Yabashim, Shabashim, Kakdash, Shalom.